So I wrote a novel called Wilshire Boulevard. It's a thriller. It's about the daughter of this billionaire. And she gets kidnapped by a bunch of guys who do not know what the hell they are doing. And so the kidnappers, the police, the media, and the family of the billionaire, they all crash and collide against one another on the streets of Los Angeles. The book's got it all. It's got sex, it's got action, it's got memorable characters, and best of all, as far as I'm concerned, as the writer of it, it's got a dynamite ending. The endings are always the hardest, you know. So many books are like really entertaining, but then they get to the end and it's like, ugh. This one doesn't cuck out at the end. This one delivers on the ending. You know, if I do say so myself, I think it's something that people will find memorable. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I wrote this book back in 2015, 2016 because, see, I used to publish novels back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And then I went and did other things with my life. And I thought in 2016 that I wanted to get back into publishing. But the publishing industry had left me behind. Actually, it's not so much that they left me behind. The publishing industry went fucking nuts. They went completely insane. They went full-on retard PC SJW. It's all about ideology nowadays, insofar as publishing is concerned. The same that we've seen in comic books and video games and even movies. Well, in publishing, it's worse than in any of those places. All of the publishers are interested in politically correct novels that are towing the line of social justice warriordom. They do not accept anything that deviates from that norm. And Wilshire Boulevard deviates from that norm. Because, see, even though it is a thriller, it's an action-packed, thrill-a-minute book that will leave you breathless. It's also a critique of feminism. And that is why publishers rejected it when I tried to sell it back in 2016. I was represented by a very good agency, and they went out and they did everything possible to sell the novel, but there were 20 publishers and they all rejected the book. They rejected it because it didn't toe their ideological line. It didn't matter how good the novel was. It didn't matter that it was entertaining and that it did its job as a thriller. No, what mattered was the ideological line. And since my novel failed to toe that line, it was rejected. You have no idea how depressed that made me feel. I mean, I just like crawled back into my shell for a bit. It just made me feel miserable. But then a friend of mine, a guy in a different industry, but in a similar circumstance, he had had his work rejected too. And he had decided to go the independent route. And all of a sudden he found success, and he told me how he had found more freedom and more audience support than when he had been working with the mainstream as he had before. And that gave me the idea, or more correctly, it gave me the nerve to self-publish. Because I'd always known about self-publishing, but I just hadn't had the nerve until I talked to a few people who had done it. And I realized that it was something viable. And so I decided to take the plunge. I'm self-publishing Wilshire Boulevard. It's coming out May 15th. But between now and May 15th, there are 4 things that I have to do, and 4 things that are very expensive that I have to do. Number 1, I have to do the ebook formatting of the book. Number 2, I have to hire the right artist to make a dynamite cover, as dynamite as the content. You see what I'm saying? Number 3, I have to hire an actor to record the audiobook. And number 4, I have to print the first limited edition run of the book. Now, these 4 things are going to cost me $15,000 altogether. I have never been one to ask other people to fork over cash when I'm unwilling to do so. So I'm putting up half the money, and I've already started paying for the first edition hardcover, for the ebook, and for the artist. I need funds to help cover the rest of the expenses of publishing Wilshire Boulevard. Now, if you see in the Indiegogo campaign, there are a whole bunch of perks, but the biggest perk of all, if you will, or the biggest reward that I can give you is my thanks. Because it's taking me a lot of nerve to do this. I've been to tell you the truth, I've been a little bit freaked out over the possibility of self-publishing because I'm so afraid of failure. And I feel that this is a really good book and that it deserves an audience. And yet, I don't know if I'll be able to do this properly. So I'm giving it my all in order to make it happen. And so that you can read this book. Because it's a good book. If it were shit, I wouldn't be bothering you. But it's something good. It's well written, it's fun, it's got cool characters, cool action sequences, and like I said, it's got a dynamite ending. It's got it all for a thriller. The fact that it didn't get published by mainstream publishers just drives me up the fucking wall. And so I'll be the first to admit that part of the reason that I want to self-publish this book and have it be a success is to really stick it to those mainstream publishers. Because the book is a good book. I know it's a good book. And do you know how I know it was a good book? Because the agents who represented me, who tried to sell it to these publishers, they wouldn't have tried to sell it if it were a crappy book. They would have said no thanks and they would have passed. But they thought it was a good book. It is a good book. It's a strong book. It's an entertaining book. And it has some ideas, some insights into the world, which I think are worthwhile. I'm asking for your help. I need your help. I need your help because it's an expensive undertaking. But like I said, it's not so much money that I need, but your support. Your support, your encouragement. If you can donate $25 for this Indiegogo campaign, great, you'll get a bunch of perks. And if you donate more, you'll get even more perks. But if you can donate only $1, I'll be forever thankful. I'll be forever humbled by your support. Because, see, I'm really afraid of this. I'm really afraid of failing. I don't want to fail. I'm giving it my all to make this a success. And if I can earn your support, I'll feel that I have won. So, that's my pitch for the Indiegogo campaign of Wilshire Boulevard. I do hope you'll check out the campaign, read all of it, see all the perks, see what you can afford, how much you want to support, and yeah, it's going to be an adventure. So thank you for joining me.